Good morning and thanks for joining us on another edition of Prime Flash on My Media Prime Television. With me, Audrey, Zatsa. Christians around the world, especially Catholics, are today observing Holy Thursday in commemoration of the Last Supper of Jesus Christ. During the Mass of the Lord's Supper this evening, the priest will perform the washing of feet of some of his people in memory of Jesus Christ's washing of feet of his disciples. An insight with Colette Loom.
Holy Thursday, commemorated by Christians, a day where followers of Jesus Christ celebrates the institution of the Eucharist as the true body and blood of Jesus Christ. On this day, as it will be happening this evening in most churches worldwide and Cameroon inclusive, Jesus will offer himself as the Passover sacrifice.
The period of Lent is a 40-day walk spiritual walk with Jesus.
How imperative is this day for Christians?
It is a very important day for Protestants and especially Presbyterians because we remember his death, his passion, and we also become penitent and humbled for the very fact that he could wash the feet of his disciples, and we see ourselves not just as servants.
Christians are therefore called upon to draw closer to God, since the world is plagued with numerous predicaments, and thus there is dire need for God's intervention.
Internally displaced persons in Babanda, a neighborhood in Bonaberi, Douala 4 municipality, have once again decried the destruction of their project houses by the Douala Port Authority. They are calling on the state to come to their aid. Eileen Sama.
About 6,000 people, mostly internally displaced persons from the two restive regions of Cameroon, have now been rendered homeless by the officials of the Douala Port Authority, who have called on them to leave their land at Kumba Mabanda in the Douala 4 municipality. The marked houses in red pink made of blocks and some with plank are about to be destroyed like many others already down. This lady, a victim, laments, saying she was promised 300,000 francs CFA for a house she used 1,300,000 francs to build, as well as reclaim the land which was swampy.
I don't be mad for 1,300,000 for Bikinam. Nah, I difference for 10 million, so that they can't give me 300,000. 300,000, they give me. They don't give yourself. That's what they say. I go na mi dish for Cameroon Cameroon étranger na mi dish when I see me for all country when I see me Cameroon na wushka Cameroon dish na wushka Cameroon dish hey and my first city kala country and my for country for Douala Mabanda.
This other victim says he was also promised 300,000 francs and is still waiting for the money to start seeking solutions for another place elsewhere.
Don't also we go. But one man will take the plan now. He say no, we know if we go, so he must give me some small thing before we go. Now we in the time with the partner we go. The same we no go. We know the yet where the return also. But now we dey embarrassed. Bon, all man don't remove. We don't start the move. Kako they will wait the money. They say they will give. They say they will give 200,000. You know what? They are feeling yourself. But we don't start the move. The same we go. No go. They will bring grow. We don't know how we go set. We do wait the money for pack go set. We know you see the money. And then we didn't have for make meeting, no, for Sheffield so. Yes. We don't know how to go. They will give the money, we've been on Wednesday, they will again, they say we're going to Thursday, we will get the money now so. They will give all the money, they will give you advance again, we want all the money now so. Yes. We don't know how to go, so we will now only for we will forget the money before we check how we will go there.
It is worth mentioning that the said land, a 93 hectares piece needed by the Douala Port Authority to develop a project according to the quarterhead of Kumba Mabanda, would have been spared if the company was not in dire need of it.
They finish do marking. They don't explain for them plenty. First day now that commission will come down, meet you, be follow them, work out house for house to house, talk the thing where they be. Now say the port need that land. If the port never need for develop that land, develop some their project for they for leave them for they like 100 years or they for leave them where they say they. But now where they need they say the port get for implant people, they don't engage dialogue, way for dialogue.
Now, a majority of smart owners of houses in this area undergoing demolition have started taking off their roofs, zincs, planks and blocks to recycle elsewhere for the construction of their homes than losing everything.
The persistent increase in the prices of basic commodities in the country has continued to make life difficult for most Cameroonian business persons and consumers. Our reporter Mwanze Njoyogo visited the Bonamusadi neighborhood and compiled the following.
Since the start of the year 2022, there's been a steady rise in the price of basic commodities such as oil, flour, just to name a few. Taking a tour around the Bonamusadi local market in Douala, we came in contact with Madame Hermine, a trader at the local market, and she disclosed that this sudden increase in the price of basic commodities affect her business negatively.
I used to sell maybe 100,000. You go back at home with maybe 30,000, 14,000. Everything is very, very bad for the moment.
According to Cameroon's National Institute of Statistics, the country in the previous month observed a 7.6% increase in commodities. Bag of flour, which was previously sold at 19,500 francs, now sells at 22,500 francs, an addition of 3,000 francs. This has equally affected all flour-related products. A liter of refined cooking oil, which previously cost 1,100 francs, now costs 1,400 francs, an addition of 300 francs. A kilo of powdered milk, which earlier on cost 3,500 francs, now costs 6,750 francs, an increase of 3,250 francs. Prices keep rising, life becomes difficult, with many hoping something is done to address the situation.
Some 20 media practitioners have been schooled on nature conservation strategies. The workshop, organized recently by the non-governmental international organization Worldwide Fund for Nature, had as main objective to strengthen the interest of journalists in reporting environmental issues. Get more details in the following report.
Human destruction of nature is rapidly eroding the world's capacity to provide food, water, and security to billions of people. The risk posed by biodiversity loss should be considered on the same scale as those of climate change, health, political, and socio-economic problems. It is for this reason that the Worldwide Fund for Nature in Cameroon, abbreviated as WWF, in partnership with the Cameroon Ministry of Forestry and Wildlife, the Ministry of Environment, Nature Protection and Sustainable Development, and the Ministry of Social Affairs, organized a 2-day workshop for media practitioners on April 6 and 7 in Douala, with the main aim to train them on WWF's new conservation approach and increase the interest of journalists on reporting climate issues. According to the 2020 Living Planet report of the Worldwide Fund for Nature, the planet's wildlife populations have decreased by 68% in more than 40 years, and with the main factors affecting the planet being climate change and the loss of biodiversity, according to Senior Policy and Conservation Director at WWF, Gilles Etoga, there is an urgent need for action. Through the international non-governmental organization's 3 to 5 years conservation strategy and approach, by supporting sustainable agriculture and community initiatives in the Freedom Cameroon landscape, and with the help of the media, conservation consciousness among the African populace, and particularly among the Cameroonian youths, will increase. In 5 years, Cameroon has witnessed a 75% decrease in elephant populations. According to data released by WWF, at least 711 elephants were killed from 2014 to 2020. For Ernest Sumelong of WWF, there is a great risk of total extinction of the species, especially knowing that the gestation period of a female elephant is the longest of all land mammals, lasting 22 months. An activity committed by poachers for the ivory found on elephant tusks, which are then traded illegally in the international market due to high demand for ivory, especially in Asia. In October 2020, 118 ivory tusks were seized in Ambam in the east of the country, according to a report by the non-governmental organization, with several other seizures of weapons and ammunition. Jean-Robert Onana, head of the communication unit at the Ministry of Forestry and Wildlife, revealed that less than 10 ivory tips have been seized since the beginning of the year 2022, a drop which he says could be due to scarcity of the species following a persistent increase in poaching activities. The fight against this activity continues to make things difficult for eco-guards, who most often lost their lives in the process. These problems and more, such as agricultural and forestry exploitation linked to the preservation of biodiversity, were brought to the attention of journalists who, on their part, have resolved to look into the issues while they inform and raise awareness, for they say an informed society is the best weapon against climate change.
The FACO 1A and B sections of the CPDM political party have launched a maiden edition of the youth football competition. The objective of this sporting event, which took place recently, is to get youths registered for elections. Kuma Honore has details.
The youth wings of the CPDM party for FACO 1A and FACO 1B have embraced new ways to change lives and to make the CPDM party bigger to face future challenges. The youth wings of the CPDM party launched the maiden edition of the YCPDM football tournament over the weekend to demonstrate to the public that sports and football in particular can be a veritable tool to call for unity and integrate people in the society. Addressing militants and sympathizers at the Middle Farm Sports Complex, the president of the organizing committee, who doubles as the vice president of the YCPDM FACO 1A, Dr. Lyonga Hans Monono, said, "Football is a universal language that brings about social cohesion and stability for any community."
I think it's a laudable initiative by the youth, and as I've always said, we are very proud of them. We are trying to build a very serious and big FACO 1A, and I think the youth are just doing just what we intend to do. I want to use it as a medium to try to get more voters on the electoral list and try to build up the party and try to make it more stronger than ever.
The tournament, which took place under the distinguished patronage of the Minister of Secondary Education, Minister Pauline Nalova Lyonga, head of the FACO Permanent Divisional Delegation of the Central Committee for CPDM, was captioned, "Transforming sympathizers to full-fledged militants, all behind the national president and chairman of the CPDM party to foster peace building, unity, solidarity, and progress." Minister Pauline Nalova was represented by the General Manager of CDC, Franklin Guninje, member of the FACO Permanent Divisional Delegation of the Central Committee.
The youth of Cameroon should emulate such rassemblement. Let us come together. Let us build our country together. It belongs to us. It is repeated over and over that the future of this country belongs to the youth. And instead of sitting and waiting, we take it by such actions.
Meantime, a similar competition took place at the Mukindi Village Field, organized by the YCPDM FACO 1B under the patronage of the Mayor of Limbetu Municipality. The president of the YCPDM FACO 1B, Dupe James, used this opportunity to call on the youths who are internally displaced persons resident in Limbe to register massively on the electoral list of Elecam for future elections.
You know, as youth of Limbetu FACO 1B, we've always been together. It's not our first time doing this, so we'll never be the last. We always think about the youth when they are all together. We always think about bringing them together so that they will not go and involve themselves into some wicked issues that are going around us.
Both competitions will end on the 30th of April with very encouraging prizes set aside for the winners as well as participatory prizes.
Let's now talk about FECAFOOD President Samuel Etofi's meeting with the Director General of CNPS, Olivier Mekulu Mvondo, on April 12. The objective to concretize his vision for all local lead players to get registered at the National Security or Social Security Fund.
This meeting comes a few days after Samuel Etofi's commissioned all local team presidents to ensure the registration of their players to the National Social Insurance Fund. Early same Tuesday, FECAFOOD Boss had a session with the Minister of Secondary Education, Professor Pauline Nalova-Lyonga. This was to discuss Cameroon's participation in the Pan-African School Football Championship, a competition through which Samuel Etofi also intends to promote grassroots football. Good news in the pipeline for football in Cameroon.
In sports, a 28-year-old Cameroonian Joel Embiid has won the NBA scoring title 20 years after Shaquille O'Neal. He set out an outstanding performance on Sunday, April 10, in the finals against Detroit and finished with a 30.6 points. Monique Emanuela has details.
The 28-year athlete from Yaoundé has been playing with the Philadelphia Sixers since 2014. Joel Embiid has done something no center has done since Shaquille O'Neal in the year 2000 won the NBA scoring title. He becomes the first to lead that category in over 20 years and the first ever foreign player to do so. The Cameroonian basketball star averaged 30.6 points per game this season.